All right. So, I have a lot of people around me that are getting sick and not feeling well. And one of the things that I learned is you really need to stay away from sugar, caffeine, but mostly sugar, because sugar creates inflammation. Sugar blocks your immune system to, you know, it's something really crazy. Like, you have sugar, and in, I think it's less than an hour, your sugar, the sugar ends up blocking your production of white blood cells, and white blood cells are what fights off infection. So if you're like, oh man, I'm feeling kind of, something coming on, avoid sugar, like, really. And you want to avoid, processed foods, and you want to have it as much food as naturally as possible to help boost your immune system. Um anyway, the reason why I say that is because, ironically, when you're dehydrated, your body is going to crave things that actually dehydrate you more and not crave things that you need. So, like, if you're dehydrated, a lot of times people are like, oh, I just need a beer, I just need a soda. And they get things that will actually dehydrate them further, instead of things that will hydrate you, like water. And if you've lost a lot of, like, if you're too dehydrated, you're going to need to get some magnesium in there, possibly some iron, depending. But anyway, but your body craves, sometimes your body will crave, most of the time, your body will crave what you don't need. It craves the opposite, actually, of what you need. And so when we follow, like, our desire, it usually takes us down a way that we probably shouldn't go. And we have to train ourselves to desire what's good for us. So, when I went through chemo, like 11 years ago, my body had a hard time staying hydrated. And after that, it's been 11 years, and I'm still working on being hydrated and helping my body have that balance of what nutrients I need, so my body will hold the hydration I'm giving it, instead of, not utilizing it. And it's a thing. And my body craves stuff all the time where I'm just like, no. Like, the last thing I want right now is sugar when everyone around me isn't feeling well. Like, I need, bone broth. I need, chicken broth. I need onions, and, all the apples, and I was going to say onions again, but I meant to say oranges. But anyway, my body wants sugar. Oh my gosh, my body wants sugar. And I'm like, no, no, you're not getting sugar. No. And so, like, I'll have some sugar, like, in March, when everyone's done being sick all the time. But I have to train myself to not listen to what my body is craving, because it's not craving something that's good for me. Now, obviously, if my body was craving spinach, I'd be like, oh, good for you. You're craving something good. For a long time, whenever my body was craving sugar, I always have nuts. I have cashews and hazelnuts and pecans and almonds and a whole bunch of stuff. And don't get me started with it being a legume and not a nut, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, I would go, and everything's always raw and unsalted, and I would go and get a handful of cashews, because when you don't have sugar for a really long time, raw cashews with no salt on them actually taste sugary. It's kind of funny. So that was my go-to. Whenever I would crave sugar, I'm like, okay, well, let's go have some cashews. But I just want to encourage you, like, just because you feel a certain way or you want something, or you're like, no, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I want to do as my job, or this is what I want, you know, in life, or this is, you know, what I want to eat. I mean, everything comes down to, just because you want it doesn't mean it's actually good for you. And it doesn't mean that it's going to benefit you. There's some things that we eat, and there's some things we do, and there's even interactions with others that are just harmful to us. It's not good for us. It's not benefiting us in any way. So, yeah, like, just because you want something doesn't mean it's good for you. So, and also get sleep. That helps a lot in not getting sick, because I was horrible about getting sleep for a really long time, and I was good for like a year and a half, and then I went back to being horrible about it. So I'm telling you to go get good sleep, because I need to get off of here and go and get good sleep myself. But yeah, that's it. That's all I had. Have a good night.